Good evening
and welcome to the Daily Thing.
Tonight we have some very interesting stuff to share with you.
In Brazil, a diary was found washed up on the coastline. But this was no ordinary diary. This diary belonged to the one and only Ferdinand Miguel. Yesterday, we asked the Brazilian Prime Minister if we could get the diary into the studio. Sadly, he declined as he wanted.
Thanks, Dad. It's empty, Casey. John, you're fired.
Wait, are you live?
Yeah, we're live. Hi, Mummy! Get out!
Okay.
Wait, you went the wrong way.
You want that?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Anyways, so yesterday we asked the Brazilian Prime Minister if we could get the diary into the studio. He declined as he wanted to keep this artifact safe. On the bright side, he told us what was written inside the diary. And now we will read it to you. This has been translated into English from Portuguese. September 20th, 1519, 4:30 p.m. Day 1. We have started the voyage. Most of the crew have already started getting seasick. I can't wait to get to land. I hope we have enough food and water packed. No one knows how long we will be gone. September 21st, 1590, 12:30 p.m. Day 2. It was a rough night last night. I got nearly no sleep. I've eaten nearly nothing. I'm starving. I can imagine what land looks like. Green grass, sun shining, and beautiful smells of flowers. September 22nd, 1519, 6 a.m. Day 3. This morning I woke up and felt different. I felt refreshed. Today has been the best day on the ship by far. I feel great. I don't feel hungry or thirsty like I always do. Today is going to be great. Now, some of you may be thinking, who is Ferdinand Miguel? Well, he is a Portuguese explorer, and today I will be telling you about the reasons the Portuguese migrated, the colonization of Brazil, and why they took over nations. Firstly, I'll tell you about why they migrated. Well, Portuguese travelled because in Portugal and the rest of Europe, silk and spices were worth a lot of euros. So they thought they should travel to different countries so they can get cheap spices and sell them in Europe to make a big profit. Whilst the Portuguese were out travelling, they came across new land and put finding spices and silk on hold and started looking for new land that hadn't been discovered. They did this because they wanted to make a colonial empire. The Portuguese travelled to many countries and cities to take over land, such as Brazil, South America, Angola, Africa, Cape Verde, Africa, Guinea, Africa, Mozambique, Africa, Macau, Asia, and Goa, Asia. Now I will tell you about the colonization of Brazil. When the Portuguese arrived in Brazil, they brought Jesuits. Jesuits did a lot of things for the native Brazilians, such as preventing slavery, researching the native language, etc. Jesuits also changed natives to Roman Catholic. Another thing that Portuguese brought to Brazil is farming and agriculture. They grew sugarcane so they could get sugar and sell it, as it was big business in Europe. Sugar became Brazil's main export for the next 150 years. Finally, why they took over nations. The Portuguese took over nations because of religious reasons. When they arrived in South America's largest country, Brazil, they brought Jesuits and they converted many natives to Roman Catholic. Another reason they travelled was because of power. They originally went looking for cheap spices and then they came across new land and started looking for new land to claim. Wealth is pretty much the only reason they moved around. In Portugal and the whole of Europe, spices were worth a lot of money, so they went out to find cheap spices and they could sell them for a lot more.
On Thursday the 27th, on the coast of France, we recovered a World War II diary. We think what happened is a plane crashed and the diary flew out one of the windows. At least that's what we think. Anyway, the diary is not allowed in here. The French are keeping it, but they let us see it and copy it down. September 6th, 1942, day 1. We're about to get into the plane. I don't think we've packed enough water. We have to stop at multiple places before we go to America. It's quite calming, writing into this diary, waiting. Wait, my dad called me over. I've got to go. September 7th, 1942, day 2. We've been on the plane for a day now, and we're about to land in Portugal. 5 people are getting off there, 2 different families. One of the families is looking for their son who escaped from Germany to Portugal. The other families are Jewish, like us, and are trying to get away from the Nazis. An hour later, the 5 people have gotten off the plane, and we are back in the air. Next step is England, and half of the people on the plane seem to be getting off there. I don't see why people are getting off there. Germany are trying to destroy England. I'm getting off at America in a week. Then I'm getting off. The next stop is Australia. I don't know why they are doing it in this order, but they are. September 8, 1942, day 3. There's only one person getting off in Australia. He's getting off there because his family is sick and they need him to do basic things for them. 3 hours later, we're in Australia and we're restocking our supplies because now we're heading off to Iceland. 2 families are getting off there. Both families think that the Nazis won't make it to Iceland. I hope they're right. 6 hours later, we've reached Iceland and 1 more family than expected got out there. Now there's only 4 families left. September 9th, 1942, day 4. There is no one on the plane my age, so my brother and I play board games that he brought, like chess. I always lose him in chess. We're right in the middle of a game, snakes and ladders, when my dad suddenly says, get some sleep. We pack up for the night and go to sleep. September 10th, 1942. We arrive in Israel, and we're going faster than everyone thought. We have only 1 more stop, and then we're in America. I have thought this through, and if the plane is about to crash, I'll chuck the diary onto land and put it on a safety boat. September 11th, 1942. We've arrived in Greenland, and the order that we're flying in is seriously messed up. I'm so excited. We'll be able to get off the plane and eat actual good food. The plane food is so bad after a while. September 11th, 1942. I'm scared. Everyone is saying, put your life jacket on, or brace. The plane is crashing, and one of the windows is broken. I'm about to chuck this out the window. Final words. Tell my friends and family goodbye. If you're wondering how she got there, I did some research and she was at Auschwitz, which is a German concentration camp. She escaped, and her whole family was dead and she got adopted by a different family, and they tried to take her to America. She died, and so did the rest of her adopted family.
It's gonna be hot! Now it's gonna be cold!
Actually, it's gonna be 20 degrees Celsius.
Shut up! You're just a cameraman!
And now it's going to sports, the finals of the MMA championship between Jacob and Wagon.
I'm sorry.
And Jacob is victorious.
Yes! Get out, Casey!
Jacob is victorious.